Okay, hello everyone. So welcome back to our novel reading stream. So today is chapter 6, I believe, the meeting. So this is a rather short chapter and we'll pick up where we left off last time. So last time our main character went to the meeting room to train his mice, and at the same time some ladies went in the ballroom. And then now our protagonist is behind a screen, hiding the fact that he's in the room and looking out through the crack of the screens to see what is happening in the room. So, without further ado, let's go to today's reading. Okay, again. So, fireplace is lit, and let's start. Chapter 6, The Meeting. Now that the manager had gone, I was not particularly alarmed. What better than to be present in a room full of these splendid ladies? If I ever got talking to them, I might even suggest that they come and do a bit of a cruelty to children preventing at my school. We could certainly use them there. In they came, talking their hats off. They began milling round and choosing their seats. And there was a whole lot of stuff like, "Come and sit next to me, Millie there." And, "Oh, hello, Beatrice. I haven't seen you since the last meeting. What an adorable dress you have on." I decided to stay where I was and let them get on with their meeting, while I got on with my mouse training. But I watched them for a while longer through the crack in the screen, waiting for them to settle down. How many were there? I guess about 200. The back rows filled up first. They all seemed to want to sit as far back from the platform as possible. There was a lady wearing a tiny green hat in the middle of the back row who kept scratching the nape of her neck. She couldn't leave it alone. It fascinates me the way her fingers kept scratching away at the hair on the back of her neck. Had she known somebody was watching her from behind, I'm sure she would have been embarrassed. I wondered if she had dandruff. All of a sudden, I noticed that the lady next to her was doing the same thing. And the next one. And the next. The whole lot of them were doing it. They were all scratching away like mad at the hair on the backs of their necks. Did they have fleas in their hair? More likely, it was nits. A boy at school called Ashton had had nits in his hair last term, and the matron had made him dip his whole head in turpentine. It killed the nits all right, but it nearly killed Ashton as well. Half the skin came away from his scalp. I began to be fascinated by these hair-scratching ladies. It is always funny when you catch someone doing something coarse and she thinks no one is looking. Nose picking, for example, or scratching her bottom. Hair scratching is very nearly as unattractive, especially if it goes on and on. I decided it had to be nits. Then the most astonishing thing happened. I saw one lady pushing her fingers up underneath the hair on her head, and the entire head of hair, lifted upwards all in one piece, and the hand slid underneath the hair and went on scratching. She was wearing a wig. She was also wearing gloves, I glanced swiftly round at the rest of the now seated audience. Every one of them was wearing gloves. My blood turned to ice. I began to shake all over. I glanced frantically behind me for a back door to escape through. There wasn't one. Should I leap out from behind the screen and make a dash for the double doors? Those double doors were already closed, and I could see a woman standing in front of them. She was bending forward and fixing some sort of metal chain round the two door handles. Keep still, I told myself. No one has seen you yet. There's no reason in the world why they should come and look behind the screen. But one false move, one cough, one sneeze, one nose blow, one little sound of any sort, and it won't be just one witch that gets you. It'd be 200. At that point, I think I fainted. The whole thing was altogether too much for a small boy to cope with. But I don't believe I was out for more than a few seconds. And when I came to, I was lying on the carpet, and I was still, thank heavens, behind the screen. There was absolute silence all around me. Rather shakily, I got to my knees and peered once again through the crack in the screen. So this is chapter 6, the meeting. A rather short chapter. And here we can see our protagonist is in a very dangerous situation where the ballroom is full of witches, and he had to think of a way to escape. So, what will happen in the next chapter? I'm very curious and looking forward to read them for you. So as for today, this is all we have for chapter 6.